is going through a spiritual awakening or has gone through one, and you have very strange symptoms, and maybe they're symptoms that you wouldn't have even related to an awakening, but now that you know, you know. I want to know what you went through. I want to know how you knew, and how long did you have these symptoms before you like put two and two together. I've been on my spiritual awakening journey for like a year and a half now. Although I figured out pretty quickly what was going on, it wasn't until 6 months in my awakening was like catapulted, and one day I was the old me and the next day I was not, and it was like a switch flipped. I was just a completely different person. I think that it can be helpful to know what other people are going through, because you might not realize that you're going through an awakening, or you might have like an inkling that this is what's happening. But I think that hearing from other people can just kind of put you at ease or educate you on it. Some of the main things people experience would be changes in their preferences, changes in their hobbies, changes in their music, changes in their drive to have a stronger connection with spirit, with source, with the divine. Some of the first things that happened for me personally were I had to listen to music all the time. I quit smoking cigarettes without planning to, just out of the blue. But then some more weird ones were like physically, for months before I even realized I was going through an awakening, I would just feel the need to like straighten my back and stretch. And I just recently, like a week ago, realized or found out or kind of put two and two together that it's Kundalini energy. Kundalini energy moves up your spine, because I've been feeling it again really strongly. It was really hard to find information on any of this stuff. It's so difficult to find easily accessible information. So I feel that by people relaying what they're going through, it's just nice to see what others' experiences are. Other signs that you can look for would be aversions to things or people that you used to enjoy or tolerate. There are certain people that I get around now. It feels like a magnet repels. Not even like an attraction, but like a repelling. It's like this huge wall goes up and I shut down. I don't want to speak. I just feel completely guarded. And I've never really been like that with people I'm really close to. Another thing I found was that I used to love horror movies. Like that was my favorite genre. I loved all things horror, and I have for a really long time. And the other month I was telling my son about this movie, and I was like, we gotta watch it together. I started watching it a few minutes before him. It starts off and the girl is in the restroom and she's at a rest stop, and the guy killer comes in and he grabs her and drags her into the stall, and I had to turn it off like a little baby. And I couldn't deal. And I was like, I'm not watching this. This seems horrible. Why would I want to watch this? And I got invited to go to a serial killer museum a few months ago too. Old me would have been like, yeah, let's do it. I had to tell the person, like, I'm not into that anymore. And they're like, what are you talking about? Like, you love horror. And I'm like, the thought of going to a museum that is dedicated just to people who took the lives of other people sounds like it makes my heart sink now. It's just so crazy to me because I was just never like this. Physically, I went my whole life without zits. I would get a pimple, a singular pimple every now and then. Now my face breaks out in acne. That never happened. But you know who has acne? But what's interesting is because of my spiritual awakening, and it started a year and a half ago, but it catapulted almost a year ago because I met somebody and I developed a really intense spiritual connection. The acne thing, that didn't happen until I met my twin flame. And whether or not you resonate with that phrase or not, I don't really know another thing to call it. Spiritual connection, my soul twin, whatever. I met him. We break out on the same spot on our face when I've never had pimples before. We have the same nose. We have the same nose. It's crazy. And ever since I met him, and I just like completely changed in every possible way. And not everything is like a mirror of him, but like there are things that are just so wildly inexplicable. I started having an allergic reaction to the Croc sandals that I wore every day to work. I wore them all the time at work. And one day I wore them to the park and I wore them for an hour and my feet broke out and they started itching. And I like looked it up and it was like, oh, you're having an allergic reaction. I'm like, I've worn these shoes for like 100 hours, probably more than that. And what do you mean I'm allergic to them? So many things that will happen that separately they look unrelated, but when you put it all together, it's like a rewiring of your body, a realignment of your mind, body, soul. And so I would like to know, what kind of symptoms have you experienced? Did your awakening get like massively triggered by like a circumstance, by a person? What's been going on with you? What's yours like? Let me know. Okay, bye.